Okay, let's take a venture out into the city. Okay, so this is day 16 of the challenge. So the reason why I'm drawing your attention to the project from this aspect is there has been a few changes. So I'm going to talk you through that. So as you'll see in previous days for the challenge on the vlog series on YouTube, you'll notice that it's always been 20 days that have been allocated to this project for the month of Feb. But all of a sudden now we've lost a day. So it's day 19 is going to be the final day, so 19 days for this challenge. But I'm going to talk you through why that is. So what should have happened is following Thursday's training session, it should have been Friday and Saturday. That's what should have happened. So those days should have taken place, and the challenge should have finished on Wednesday the 28th. What's happened is I didn't train on the Friday, I didn't train on the Saturday, and I didn't train on the Sunday. Now, Sunday was never part of the picture, but it could have been a roll-up day. I potentially could have trained on that day, but I didn't. So just to recap, I've not trained since Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no training. Now, the challenge is a February challenge, which leaves Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the leap year, which is going to be Thursday, the 29th of Feb. So I've got 4 days left in which to achieve 1,250 pull-ups. So that's averaging, this is how I've broken it down. I've broken it down as 325 to achieve today, 325 for Tuesday, 300 Wednesday, and 300 on the Thursday. And if I achieve those numbers, then I'll achieve the 5,000 pull-ups, and that'll complete that part of the challenge, so the 5k pull-ups for Feb. So let's dig into the rings dips. Let's see where we're at with that. So rings dips, I've got 1,380 remaining. Now if I take that number and I break it down and divide it over the 4 days, it actually works out 345 rings dips. So I'm significantly increasing the number that I'm expecting to achieve each session over the next 4 days. But if I do that, if I achieve 345, 345, 345, and 345, then that is going to get me to the point whereby I've achieved the 1,380 rings dips or the 5,000 rings dips target for the Feb challenge. Okay, that is what it looks like. That's what the numbers look like. And the challenge is technically going to be completed within 19 days, not 20 days. So the pressure's on, but I'll explain more about why I am where I am right now. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so let me fill you in with what's been going on with me. So I've not trained since Thursday. You've seen the data, I've gone through it. But what I want to talk to you about is why that is. Why have I not trained since Thursday? Why is it now Monday? And I'm starting the training, the challenge, the sessions again. Okay. It got to the point whereby on Thursday evening I just felt really exhausted, mentally and physically exhausted. And this is outside of the physical challenge, February's challenge. This was just me, just in general, just feeling, like I needed to decompress. I needed to take time out, to take time in for me. And this is important. When I look back on my life and I think about me as a person, every now and again I need to do this. And I always bounce back incredibly stronger, mentally, physically, spiritually, all of that. It's almost like a supercharge for me. So if you imagine now, if you look at your device, you look at your smartphone, and you've got your battery there, essentially how I felt on the Thursday, like literally I was in that awful 10% subcategory when the bar goes red. Listen, we've all been there, we've seen it, and I've charged myself up, I've recharged, and I've done that by connecting with myself, by disconnecting from other things that'll just that it's easy for me to kind of plug into, whether that is reading, whether it is being on a device of some kind, for lots of different reasons, and just reconnecting. So going out into the city, meeting with people, meeting with friends, connecting with friends, connecting with myself, breathing meditation, mindfulness exercises, drinking my favourite hot chocolate, my favourite decaf coffee, eating some of my favourite foods with my favourite people. Whatever it is, it's just those things bring me into the present moment, enable me to focus on me, and almost not really overthink what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. And do you know what? You may call them those days, those duvet days, those snuddy days, the days when you just want to connect to yourself, and how you get there is your own journey. So for me, it's been all of those things, and a lot of them are really simple, basic things that I know how to do, but sometimes I don't always do them. And when I'm not doing them, and when I don't do those things, I can really get in quite insular into my own world, whatever that is, whatever that thing is. So there's brilliance in those moments for me, where I get deep into the hyper-focused realm of flow state for me, embarking on fitness challenges, or whatever it may be. But sometimes I lose that connection in other parts of my life where that brings the overall well-being for me. And sometimes those parts, I've got to reconnect in with those. And that's kind of what I've done. That's what I have done. So, so Friday, yeah, I just felt like I needed that reconnection with myself. So there was no training on the Friday. There was no training on the Saturday, and there was no training on the Sunday. Physical fitness, physical exercises, training sessions, for me, have always been a big part of my life, and they will always be a big part of my life because there are so many incredible health benefits, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, that I get from what I do, of course. But sometimes I just need to take a little bit of time out for me in that rest and recovery period. And that's what I've done. And honestly, even just talking to you right now, just by doing things like going around the city, going around my hometown, going to New Islington, having those delicious treats, whatever it is, it just gives me this supercharge, this recharge, and my bounce back ability is, it's immense. It really, really is immense. So the reason why I want to cover this off is it's possible for me to train literally every single day. I've done it for long periods of time. I've been there, and I've had some great moments. But invariably, getting the balance is very important. Getting the balance is really, really important for me. And I've just connected with myself on a deeper level over this time period. So the challenge, well, listen, there's more pressure to the challenge now because, as you've seen, it means more pull-ups for today, more pull-ups for tomorrow, the day after, the day after, the day after, and the same for the gymnastic rings dips. But you know what? I'm cool with that. That makes logical sense to me because for the time that I've taken out, for me, those numbers aren't going to go away. So I've rolled it up, I've evened it out, I've spread it out over the remaining days for February. And listen, I'm really excited about that. And I always think there's a part to my personality whereby I do thrive under those elements of pressure. And I suppose in a way it makes the challenge for February even more challenging because it's gone from 20 days dedicated to the project to now 19 days and more reps, more sets for the sessions over the remaining days. And listen, I'm okay with that. I'm excited by it. But what's more important is what has been. So, listen, if you're ever told, don't take time out, don't take time off for yourself, for rest, recovery, to connect with yourself, to recharge, that's not the case. That's not great advice. What is important is that you listen to yourself, to your mind-body connection. You connect to you. Because for somebody like me, sometimes I don't recognise that straight away. And it takes somebody close to me to just point it out. But fortunately, for this time round, I recognised it. And I sunk into it. I let go. And it feels amazing. But it's not always that easy for me. It's not always that easy. So being self-aware is a daily practice. It's a daily practice, just like all of the other things that I do. The meditation, the breathing meditation, the breath work, mindfulness, connecting to me, being in the present moment. So that is daily practice. Just like all the other things that I do. So just like the fitness side of my life, the pull-ups, it's daily practice. Doing it today is fresh. Daily practice. focusing on that one pull-up, the gymnastic ring steps, daily practice. All of those things are important and they're daily practice. Do you know why? Because these things don't just happen. Connections with other people for me don't just happen. I have to be part of it. Connections with myself, that connection. I have to be part of it. I have to understand that element. I have to want that element. I have to focus on that part and be present in the now. So these are all important parts of what makes me, me. So listen, I am very excited to be getting back to the training today. So let's get to it. Okay, that is block 1 of the pull-ups done. 100 pull-ups. Feel amazing. Okay, so that's 325 pull-ups done. So that is 75 pull-ups more than each session for the February challenge. So I feel good. I needed that little extra bump today. But listen, let me share some things I've been doing with regards to the grip. Okay, so I've literally been doing thousands of pull-ups on this super wide grip here, so that's where my hand will be placed with a pronated thumbs over. But what I've been doing today is I've been taking the grip to this point here, so there's a slight kink in the bar, so I've been sort of like going middle finger there, grabbing it and then going pronated on there, and also bringing it over a little bit to this point here, so it's pretty much a solid straight bar. So I've been doing some pull-ups like that, some pull-ups like that, and some pull-ups like that. So feedback on that, and why have I done it? So I've been getting a little bit of pain around the elbows, which it's something that I've noticed. I think it might be air pockets that are building up in between the joints. So when I warm up, when I do my stretches, when I get into my pull-ups, they start to ease off. So I call it the WD-40 effect, meaning once I've performed a movement for a series of time, that then starts to warm up the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, that type of thing. But I did want to just try it out today. I just wanted to change it up because I've been doing those super wide pull-ups on the slight angulation. I've done thousands of those since January, and I suppose in a way there's a part of me that's just curious to see what it would be like if I brought it in just a little bit, so slightly narrower grip, and also go for that straight bar grip, which is what I've just shown you. The straight bar grip is probably the one that I've performed the majority of the pull-ups on in my time, and I think in training facilities, typically speaking, you've got the straight bar. You know, if you look at competitions and games like the CrossFit Games, all that sort of stuff, or even in the military, they use the straight bar. It's quite unusual to use the angular bar. So whilst I'm really enjoying the super wide grip and the angled super wide grip and performing thousands of pull-ups doing that, I am curious to get back to more of a straight bar grip, albeit it might be slightly narrower. I want to keep shocking my body, keep changing it, and also I don't want to forget what it feels like to do that type of pull-up. So listen, I've done that today. I've changed it in the sense of I've done say 5 pull-ups, rest for 30 seconds, 1 grip, and changed it up, and then changed it again. So listen, it's been a really interesting session today, and I've enjoyed it. I'll tell you what I like about these gymnastic rings. It is the simplicity of setting them up. I've never had an issue. So I'll just zoom in on the detail here. So yeah, these are your classic wooden rings. I believe that you can get them in metal as well, but I've opted for the wood. It just feels nice. And over time, you get your own patina on the wood. But yeah, in terms of the straps, I've gone through this before, but I get asked lots about them. They've got literally all of the points here where you can decide where you want to put the carabiners, the clips, essentially, so you can get that precision layout.
So I know that, for example, that is precisely in alignment with that one there. And because these are set for this challenge, I just literally fold them up and put them in the bag, and they are ready to go. So I just hook them on at the top here and get to it. Hang on, sorry about that. Just getting settled. Right. So I want to give you some feedback on it. So let me bring up that energy for you right now. So listen. So I've done the pull-ups. I've achieved those pull-ups today. Straight reps, straight sets. Beautiful work with the additional weight. But listen, here's a big thing. I'm containing it. It's the rings. So the rings today, as you know, I've increased the rep range massively in the aggregate. So we've gone for 345 reps today, which is like significant increase on the 280. And I've done 5 reps max straight all the way through. So I've done the 5 reps max. That's what I wanted to achieve. Oh, I've got goosebumps. It's because this has been my nemesis. I really, really wanted to get to the point where I was doing the 5 reps max with a clean form. It's so important. As soon as that form breaks, that rep doesn't count. But if it gets to the point whereby the reps aren't going how I want them to go, then I'll literally call it on that session. But I've had beautiful form, 5 reps max, and I've achieved today's target. So that is awesome, and it feels good. But I want to drill it into the reflection piece and try and get some logic in there, like why would that happen, given the fact that the last training session on Thursday, I was not achieving the 5 reps max. It was like 4 reps max. But more importantly, that bounce back ability, honestly. So I'm going to put it down to a combination of things. I'm going to put it down to extremely good sleep, extremely good nutrition. But the big thing is acknowledging for me that I needed some downtime. I needed to just switch down to switch up. Switch down in terms of just connecting with me on a different level with my people, doing things that I really just enjoy doing, removing some of the things that I'm doing large volumes of, say like the computer, that type of thing, and just zoning out. And, even though I had days set for the challenge, by pushing it forward, even though I've made it harder, technically by doing more reps today, honestly, I feel like a new person. I really do feel like a new version of me, and that sort of demonstrates that rest and recovery are so important, and they should not be overlooked. I get it. If there's a challenge that is to be undertaken, and it's literally doing something audacious like, I don't know, 1,000 pull-ups in a day, 10,000 pull-ups, 20,000 pull-ups in a day, whatever, or some sort of ultra race, or something where you're really pushing yourself mentally and physically and spiritually. I get it, because that is the thing that you do in that event is happening right now. But rest and recovery should not be seen as anything else other than restorative. Restorative, can I ever say this word? Restorative. A good thing for our health, for our well-being. 100%. Talk about biohacking. I mean, this is just natural. So whatever that thing is. So if it's getting a snuddy on, just curling up on the couch, chatting and spending time with loved ones and friends, or whether it's getting out there on some great walks, getting some good scenery, or just listen to your favourite music, chatting to your favourite people, or just meditating, getting some solitude time, just connecting with yourself. Whatever that thing is for you, there's power in that. And I've tapped into that for myself over these past few days, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I've really tapped into that energy. And that's given me that high that high positive frequency energy that I need right now. And I feel immense. So there is something that I want to share though. So this is something that happened on Saturday, and it was just one of those mistakes. And when I found out about it, my reaction, how I responded to it, it was quite interesting. So if you've been following my journey, you'll know that I have not been drinking caffeine. I've not been having caffeine since October, and this has been a conscious decision just to see how I would perform as a human being, as me. You know, do I need that extra level of stimulus? Is that something that is required? I'm just going to switch hands one sec. The right arm. Is that something that is needed for me? And I had to question that because coffee, for example, fresh coffee made from some of the best roasters out there is something that I really enjoyed having. And just getting a real nice coffee. But I've taken away that caffeine hit. So I've noticed some big changes. I have noticed some massive changes. The fact that I don't need that level of stimulus for me as a person, I can get that through different means, through different types of breathing techniques. I can get that high energy. I can pick that up just through biohacking techniques. And in actual fact, the caffeine for me, depending on when it was taken and the volume, would overly stimulate me, which would mean that I'd be over-functioning, which would mean that my performance, mentally and physically, would reach a peak whereby I could crash. And that just wasn't working for me, but I didn't know that. I had to go through that process of removing it to find out whether that would work for me. And I absolutely found that I don't need it, and it feels amazing. But here's the thing, okay, on Saturday, so I was with a really good friend of mine, and we just got together, and I got some coffees in, listen, I put the coffees on the table, and I change seats, but in that moment of moving seats around, you know what's happened. You can see what's coming here. So I literally have drank their drink. Now, I know you're probably thinking, like, how did you not know that? How did they not know it? Well, we ordered very similar drinks, except mine was a decaf. And at the end of it, when I drank my drink, they said, listen, I think there's a strong chance that you've had my drink. Therefore, you've had the caffeine. How do you feel? This is really interesting. In that moment, I remember thinking, I feel fine. I don't feel anything. So we had a little chat about it, then we carried on about what we were doing. Here's what is interesting. About an hour after we were together, something like that, maybe 2 hours, I shared this information with someone very close to me. And in that moment, it kind of feels like my attachment, my judgments became attached to the thought of, well, what happens if this did spike me? And I think I almost brought on through my thoughts around the fact that this would highly stimulate me, almost some levels of anxiety. Now, I think, to be honest with you, I think the caffeine might have stimulated me. I do. But I think having the conversation about the fact that I've not drunk caffeine or had caffeine in my system since October, I think the thoughts around that have created almost like that placebo effect. I think I might have brought on that situation where I was like, I can't believe it. So now I can't say that I've not had caffeine since this period of time. But interestingly, by that happening, I don't know whether it was a placebo effect, this slight anxiousness feeling that I had, which did pass, by the way. It did pass. Or whether or not it was that crash and burn effect of caffeine, i.e. spiking a little bit and then just coming down. The truth is I don't know that. It's possible. Logic would say that is possible, but it's also possible that the narrative that was created was internally by myself getting attached to the thoughts of and making judgments of the fact that I knew in that moment that I'd have caffeine, and talking about it might have brought on that level of high stimulation. I genuinely don't know. But I wanted to share that with you because it's been a real interesting series of days. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of restorative TIFF. I don't even know why I'm saying that word. Chill out, should we say, and connecting with me. And it's been really, really good. But that little spike, that caffeine there, I just wanted to share that with you. So I had that. That's it. I'm sharing it with you. So I don't know what my thoughts are around it just yet, other than the fact that I'm not going to introduce caffeine into my diet because I don't think that it is needed for me as a person. I don't think I need that extra level of stimulation in the mind and the body. Okay, I have had an absolutely incredible session today, a great training session. It's good to be back. I feel amazing and I'm ready for tomorrow. But listen, thank you for staying with me on this journey. I really do mean that. I'm sharing a lot with you here. I'm unpacking stuff as I'm going along the journey myself. So remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'll see you soon.